Hello, Mediocre Mystic listeners. I hope that you are doing well. This is Meliea here, your monthly tarot and oracle card reader. I am the mystical midwife, moon maven, manifesting generator, and monthly reader here for this amazing podcast. And of course, Grace is a dear friend of mine, and it's always a pleasure to be here and to read for you, the listeners, and for the collective as a whole. And tomorrow is the full moon. So we've got the full moon energy, really that expansion, that volume, that vastitude that comes with the full moon energy coming in, and that's exciting, and it's intense. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling like your emotions have ticked up, if you feel like your energy has ticked up and all of those things, then you are feeling the full expression of full moon energy. So we are going to do a full moon reading. That just seems appropriate. So this is another expanded reading that I'm doing here on the podcast. Just so you know, if you would like a reading of your own, please contact me, DM me over at lunar_aligned on Instagram, and I am happy to do a personal reading for you. Some of the readings I do, probably the most popular readings I've done have been lunar cycle forecast readings. So doing a reading for someone at the beginning or just before the beginning of the lunar cycle to kind of give you an idea of what to set intentions for and work on during that particular cycle. So if you're wanting that kind of more specific direction, I can certainly accommodate that. So just reach out to me and let me know. So we're going to do 6 cards here, and each of them will answer a certain question that I've asked. And just take in everything that resonates with you in this reading, and sit with it and just sort of ponder it and see what it means for you. What it means for me is not always what it's going to mean for someone else. So I trust your intuition to let you know how to interpret this reading for yourself. And you should trust your intuition on that too. So the very first card that I've pulled from the Wayhome Tarot deck is the 7 of Cups. And this card is representing where we are right now. This card is representing the present. And what this card tells us is happening right now is we are in a holding pattern. We're sitting around and we're waiting for this perfect solution that is not coming. There is no perfect solution to anything. So have you ever went to buy something on Amazon, like a vacuum cleaner or a mattress or, some type of bigger item, and you spend weeks, maybe even months, reading reviews and obsessing over buying the right thing? And so what happens is every time you sit down to look at these things and you're reading the reviews, and somebody said that this vacuum cleaner ate their cat, and what if it eats your cat? And it doesn't matter that, 2,000 other people said it was amazing. We're waiting for that perfect. We want to see that everyone loved it, that it worked out for everyone, and so that's the one we feel secure in buying because it works for everyone else. And then if we don't see that, we just kind of shut down and we put off buying anything. And so then we just go 2 months without a vacuum cleaner. I may or may not be talking about myself. So that is the type of energy that we're kind of sitting in right now. And, the thing is, what you're bringing to the table is your intellect and your influence. And you don't feel totally secure in that. You don't feel 100% secure in what you know. and what other people are saying. And so you keep waiting for something that's going to seal the deal. And that's just not how it works. The next piece to bring in is your intuition. And a lot of us are not trusting our intuition right now because we just feel a lot of instability in the world. And maybe you thought things were going to go one way and they didn't. And, this is what you thought was going to happen. And then everything, then a curveball came to you. And so you just don't trust your intuition. But we have to practice trusting our intuition in order to learn to really hear it and know it better. So you got to come back to that. You got to just go ahead and buy that vacuum cleaner. Like, you just got to pick one. You just got to pick the mattress. And yes, it's a lot of money spent if you end up not liking it, but most likely some of those things can be returned. And listen, everything is figure outable. Like, if you buy the mattress and it's not the right one, you buy a topper for it and you make it the right one. Everything is workable, but you got to make the move. You got to make the purchase. And that's where we are right now. We're just sitting on the precipice of committing, but we're not, because we're, again, waiting for that perfect solution that's not coming. So just move forward. Just move forward. Stop worrying about whether it's the exact right move or it's the perfect move. It's not. Nothing is the perfect move. But whatever move you make, you'll figure out whatever comes with it. So just make a move. That's where we are right now. 7 of Cups energy. And Cups energy is always good energy. It's even when our cups spill, they're refillable. So, move in that Cups energy and allow that to get your momentum going. So the second card I pulled is the Chariot. Please be sure to go to the show notes and see the pictures of these cards so that you can use those when you are listening to the reading and interpreting the reading for yourself. The question that this card is answering is, what is coming to light right now? What is being illuminated? When we talk about full moon, the light of the full moon is amazing. Like, there are places that if there's not a lot of light pollution, the full moon can make it look almost like daytime outside. So what is being illuminated in that way? And this goes right along with our 7 of Cups energy. The Chariot is the energy of movement. It is time to move on. It is time to move on. Whatever it is you have been stuck on, whatever it is you have been walking in a circle around and just can't seem to get past, it is time to walk forward and leave it behind you. It is time to move. The security you feel here in this place that you're staying because you're afraid to move is an illusion. The security is something you've created in your mind, but it's not real. It doesn't exist. There's nothing that can give us full security. So, again, it's time to make a move. Are we seeing a pattern here? It's time to make the move. And this move, it's not an escape route. We're not running from anything. This is a pathway that we are either forging or following to mental, emotional, and spiritual freedom. That is what we're walking away from, not escaping, exiting, running away from. So this is an intentional journey. This is a choice to move forward. And that's what we're looking for to come to light. Chances are it's already come to light. You already know which direction you need to move to go forward. You just need to do it. The way is being lit up. There is a clear path. So go. Just go. All right. Third card. Love this card, the Star. this is answering the question, like, how do we lighten the load here? How do we lighten the load as we're doing all of these things and accepting all of this change? So the star is asking us to release just this energy of despair and helplessness and victimization and things like waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? Like, we need to get a different perspective. And the amazing thing is that if you've ever gone to a place again where there's lower light pollution, or even in places where there is a lot of light, and if you've ever just laid down and looked up at the stars and just really taken in how vast the expansion of the cosmos is, and all the stars that are up there, all the lights that are up there, and how far away they are, but we can still see them. Like, if you've ever taken all of that in, it helps you to get a new perspective. And the perspective that I feel we need to ask ourselves right now under this full moon is, maybe this is hard, but is it impossible? Is it okay to just let it be hard and just move forward in the possibilities? I know that in a lot of spiritual circles, there's a lot of discouragement in calling something hard or difficult. But I think it's okay to admit that something is hard. I think it's okay to admit that something is challenging our balance. But is it does that mean it's impossible to move through, work through? No. Look at the expanse of the possibilities in the universe. Look at all the stars that are up there. How many of those stars can die out and we'll never even notice? So expand your perspective. Open up your mind to more possibilities as you're doing this forward movement. Let it be hard if that's what it needs to be, but know that even when it's hard, there are still a multitude of possibilities that you can move toward or that you can explore. And sometimes we don't even see those multiple possibilities until we take that first step with the Chariot and the Seven of Cups, until we move from the place that we're in, until we lay down on the beach and look up at the sky. The path then becomes clear. So take, again, just that energy of moving on, taking that first step and knowing that the possibilities will show up if they haven't already. All right, the next card. I do love this star card. Please go and look at it in the show notes. The next card, the Nine of Pentacles. This is answering the question, what needs to shift and how? The Nine of Pentacles energy is, again, about our perspective expanding, but in a different way. We want to look around and ask ourselves, does my environment reflect my heart? Does what I'm surrounding myself with align with what I believe and what I feel about myself and about the world? It's this type of perspective that leads us to go buy plants and flowers and to declutter our home and to go for a walk in nature and all of those things, because we need to go beyond just outside of our own head and our own little tiny world that is revolving around all the things that we feel are going on in our life. And so expanding that perspective on how we can bring things into our environment that reflect what we love, what we want, what we feel called to, what we feel our purpose is, all of those things. So this is kind of an energy of intention. And I use this a lot when I'm talking about the energy of the waxing quarter moon, where you bring things in, objects and things like that in, that are visual reminders of a bigger purpose, are visual reminders of something that you want to remember about yourself. Maybe it's an intention, or maybe it's an affirmation. This is where having an altar can come into play. So something that you may need to consider, if you don't already have this, is an altar. An altar of sorts, that word can be scary if you're like me and you have like an ex-evangelical past. But an altar is just something that we put objects on that have an intention behind them. It's really that simple. And so it can be anything. It can be the top of it can be your fireplace mantle. It can be a corner table. It can be anywhere, anything, right? But consider bringing the things that you have in your heart and in your mind into a physical manifestation of something. You see all the time people, buying crystals and different things like that. And those, people are like, does that work? Does it not work? It always works if your intention comes behind it. Any object that you place in your hand, that you place in your environment, that has an intention behind it, works. Because every time you look at that object, every time you touch that object, every time you feel that object, you are going to be reminded of the intention behind it. And that is going to strengthen that intention, that purpose, that resolve, whatever it is, in your heart and in your mind. So this card is calling us to bring in physical manifestations of our spiritual desires, our emotional desires. So what can you bring into your environment that does that? This is an important step in personal growth and moving forward, because this makes it real. This is something we can see with our eyes. It's no longer just a thought in our mind or an intention that we have in our heart. Now we have something that objectifies it, that solidifies it, that makes it tangible, that we can see. So this full moon energy and the energy of this reading is really bringing us full circle. It's starting with the movement, but it's asking us to really solidify it. So this is whatever it is that you are moving toward. This is important. Everything is important, but this is really important. That thing, that dynamic, whatever it is in your life that you're supposed to be moving toward right now, or that you are moving toward right now, it is so important. So bring in things into your environment that solidify that and that remind you of that on the days when it feels challenging. Next card, 8 of Swords. The swords always like to kind of come in and sort of give us some real, right? Like they're just real with our emotions. This is a journey. So we start with the 7 of Cups telling us that, it's time to move on. Then we've got the Chariot saying, let's get going down the path. Then we have the Star, making sure that we are paying attention to all the possibilities and expanding our perspective. Then we've got the 9 of Pentacles that's having us bring things into our environment to solidify it. The Eight of Swords is here for when we are objecting to all of this. When we do all of these things and we still feel trapped, helpless, or when we get that skepticism of this isn't working. The Eight of Swords is reminding us that when we start to feel like that, that is a prison of our own making. So that Eight of Swords energy, I'm trapped, I can't do this, all of that, when it comes in, we need to respond to that energy by being kind to our nervous system. So this card is reminding us to bring that into this as well. So drink water. Just that's the most basic thing you can do to start helping your nervous system. Drink water. Acts of freedom. What do I mean by that? Acts of freedom. Dancing, going out walking in nature, things that you just do because you decide to do them. Going on a hike, all of those things. One of the things I like to bring in when I'm feeling like this is lights, fairy lights or small lights, twinkle lights, Christmas lights, whatever it is, to change the lighting around me. That gives it more of a soft and warm glow. It's such a simple thing you can do to change the environment that you're in, which is what we need to do when we have this Eight of Swords energy coming in. If there's an open door, walk through it. Like, say yes to the things that present themselves to you as opportunities that you know are right for you, but maybe they're a little scary. Maybe they stretch you beyond your, comfort zone. Say yes to those things. But in doing that, be sure you're taking care of yourself. Be sure that you are going for those walks. Be sure that you're taking a moment to dance. All of those things that are so good for our nervous system when we're making change. This is really similar, I think, to our last reading, and that tells me that this message coming up again in a reading back to back is really, really important. And so this message of being kind to your nervous system and things like that, explore that. Explore what that means for you and start moving in and doing those things, because that's what helps us get out of the prisons that we make for ourselves in our mind. Last and final card, the Four of Wands. And there are fairy lights hanging in this Four of Wands card that I didn't even notice that until just now. This card is answering the question, where is your intuitive magic? Where is it? What magic do we need to do under this full moon? What magic do we need to bring in right now? This is intuitive magic. And the intuitive magic that we need to bring in as we're embarking on new journeys and walking away from things like play, connection with people that we love, laughter. Just the other night, in order to honor the 2-year mark, 2-year anniversary of my mother's transition from this earth, I got together with a group of friends. And I brought some old pictures of me and my mom and my kids and my mom. And I just passed them around, and my friends got to see them, because most of the friends that were present haven't known me since, for all of my life. And so they have not necessarily seen those iterations of me and my hair through all these years. And we just passed them around and we talked about them. We talked about this era of my life and this area of my life, and when my mom did this and when my mom did this. And it was a connection that was magical. It was truly magical, and it did something in my soul. That's the kind of intuitive magic to bring in right now. It was playful. There was laughter. There was this deep connection. So if you're finding yourself kind of disassociating right now, be easy on yourself as you move toward connection, but maybe you start with just play. Maybe you get a hula hoop and you go outside and you play around with a hula hoop. Maybe you go skating. Start somewhere like that, and then move into other things as you feel safe to do so. And then, laughter is always a good medicine. Always a magical medicine. So find some things you can laugh at and people you can laugh with. And that's going to be important as we are walking away from things and walking toward new things. Those are the things that are going to help us get through the journey in a way that's powerful and in a way that's meaningful. And in a way that when we get to our destination, we look back and realize how much resilience we have acquired and built for ourselves. So, moving on, getting on the path, lightening our load, releasing that despair and helplessness, looking for the possibilities in the expansive universe, right? Bringing in tangible things to remind us to stay on the journey. Setting intentions that are simple, to drink water, to do acts of freedom, and to bring in our intuitive magic, play, connection, laughter, magic. That's the reading. It's always an honor to read for anyone. Such an honor to read for Grace's followers. I have so much in common probably with so many of you. I would love to hear from you over on my DMs on Instagram at lunar_aligned. Let me know if this reading resonated with you. Let me know if something came up for you. I would love to hear about that. I'm hoping to revive my own podcast, the Evangelical Anti-Devotional, very soon, now that I've gotten through a very difficult semester of nursing, pre-nursing program and entering the nursing program. So my schedule changes a little bit, and I'm hoping to get back to doing a little more podcasting of my own. So I would love for you to follow me over at the Evangelical Anti-Devotional. And while I do talk about all things deconstruction, I talk about other things there too. So give me a listen and a review over there. And just let me know you're there. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let me know you listened. I would love to connect and to hear from you. Thank you, Grace, for trusting me with your precious followers and to read for them. And I hope that you have an amazing May. And I hope that you come to the end of this month and you look back and say, wow, I really came so far. I took a chance. I took that first step, and look how far I've come. That's my hope and my intention that I'm putting out there into the universe for you. As always, thank you for listening. Have an amazing May.